All right, so today we're going to dive into this really fascinating idea, how our deep instinctual connection to nature can completely change the game for the digital spaces we live in every single day.
So let's start with a feeling I bet you've had before. You're on a website, and it's clean, it's sharp, but there's this weird little feeling that something's off, that something is just missing.
And that feeling, it's not just you. It's this quiet yearning for our connection to the natural world. A connection that, let's be honest, gets pretty lost in our screen-first lives. I mean, for thousands of years, our senses evolved with nature, not with pixels.
So what if we could design our websites to tap into that deep-seated love for nature? What if we could create digital experiences that don't just work well, but feel instinctively welcoming? Well, the answer actually lies in a concept called biophilia. It's the perfect name for this biological pull we all have, this subconscious drive to connect with the living world around us.
And biophilia, it's not just about, liking a nice sunset. It's a seriously deep-seated need, something shaped by our entire evolutionary history, where being tuned into nature literally meant survival.
The famous biologist E.O. Wilson really brought this to light. He explained that this connection isn't some kind of luxury, it's a fundamental part of who we are. Our brains are literally hardwired to feel good when they see signals from the natural world.
Okay, so that's the big idea. But how do we actually translate this powerful biological pull into something like web design? Well, biophilic design gives us 3 core principles to work with to get those positive natural responses. First up, and this is the most direct one, is using, direct nature. This just means bringing in authentic, high-quality images and videos of landscapes, plants, water, you get it. It's like giving our brains this tiny, restorative break from all the abstract stuff online.
Second, we've got natural analogs. And this is where designers can get really creative. It's all about mimicking the shapes, the patterns, and the processes that we see in nature, but without showing a literal picture of it. So what does that look like? Well, it means using fluid, organic shapes instead of those rigid, harsh grids we see everywhere. It means using textures that feel like wood or stone and color palettes pulled right out of a forest or a desert. And it even includes using nature's own repeating patterns, like the way a tree branches out or the spiral in a seashell, which our minds just find incredibly calming.
And number 3, we can actually structure the digital space itself. The idea of space and place is all about designing our layouts to feel more like how we instinctively navigate and feel safe in a natural setting.
A huge part of this is creating what's called prospect and refuge. Think of prospect as that clear, open view, like when a good navigation bar lets you see the whole lay of the land, right? And refuge is that cozy, defined content block you're focused on, which feels comfortable and secure. It's also about clear wayfinding, making the user's journey feel as intuitive as following a well-worn path through the woods.
Okay, so this all sounds nice, but why does it work? Why is putting nature into design so powerful for our brains? What's really going on up there?
Think about a typical sterile website. All those sharp angles and rigid grids, they actually create a kind of low-level mental strain. But the biophilic approach, it does the exact opposite. With its organic forms and clear pathways, it actively reduces that stress and pulls you in, creating a much deeper sense of engagement.
And the benefits? They're not just a hunch. They're backed by research. There's this thing called attention restoration theory, which basically says that bits of nature grab our attention without any effort. This lets our brains recharge. It's like a mental reset button that lowers fatigue, helps us focus, and just makes us feel more comfortable and happy with the experience.
All right, so let's get practical. How do we take all this theory and actually start doing it? How can designers start weaving these natural elements into their work in a real, tangible way?
For starters, you can use authentic imagery and those earthy color palettes. You can soften up layouts with curved lines and lots of white space to give it that open landscape feel. Even your animations can feel more organic. Just imagine a button that responds with a gentle, fluid motion instead of a harsh, mechanical snap.
But of course, the key to all of this is balance. The goal is to weave these elements in so seamlessly that they feel like they belong, enhancing the whole experience without overwhelming the person using it or, and this is a big one, slowing down the website's performance. Nobody wants that.
So let's look ahead a bit. These ideas aren't just for the websites we use today. As we spend more and more time in these immersive digital worlds like VR and the metaverse, these principles become even more important.
Yeah, in these new digital worlds, biophilia isn't just going to be a nice-to-have aesthetic choice. It's going to be absolutely essential for creating virtual places that can actually support our well-being over long stretches of time, making them not just functional, but truly habitable.
And that really leaves us with one final, big question to think about. As our world barrels forward into this digital future, the principles of biophilia might just be the most profound answer we have to one of our biggest challenges. How are we going to keep it all human?